I am headed to a client's house in upstate New York. She requested a private psychic medium reading. I am pulling in a lot of anxiety, which usually tells me the person I'm going to be reading for is holding anxiety and stress for the upcoming reading. It's not a bad thing. Some people get anxiety and have that type of nervousness to them for a reading. So I will be placing the reading up as soon as I'm done later on in the afternoon. Anybody that wants a Zoom reading out of state, you can now book. You need to book a week in advance. Anybody that wants a private reading, group reading, reading for a wedding, a party, anything, etc., you may book that on my website as well. A walkthrough of properties. I also have a paranormal investigation team. We go to local haunted sites. We also travel a little bit out ways to investigate. So that's the upcoming service. I will be doing classes on how to use your abilities and open them up as well. So please be looking forward to that on my website. I also have a YouTube page, which is called the In Between Psychic Medium LLC. You will see the sessions that I do for people. I ask prior to if they want me to place on my YouTube and my website. So you will also see those there. In the upcoming video, you're going to see my client who requested the private reading became very emotional in the very beginning of the video, so we cut that part out. I don't want her private emotions placed on camera. I think that's something that's important not to place out there in a video. Horny little person. Okay, so that makes sense to you, so that's good. That's what I go for. As long as that makes sense, that's what I care for. Stepping through pretty good there. I also have the word wife, mother, and mom. So this goes to, I feel like, the older male energy. So this to me would be your dad, because he's very dominant. He's very, not in a bad way. He's very loving. He's supportive. He's caring. He definitely told me that what happened to him, he knew it was going to be hard for you guys, but he was ready, whatever that refers to. Does that make sense to you? I think this refers to, now, the male energy coming through, patting his chest, that would be your father, correct? In the way that he passed, does that have to do with the chest, the lungs, the heart, or the throat area? Okay. So that validates that one part for me. He's very fluent on her and her baby. So that's the one point that I wanted to get across ahead of everything, because I feel like what he showed me is what I needed to tell her quickly when I came, because I feel like the baby is going to be the one that he's going to reciprocate through. So you might see when he gets older a smirk that would have been your father's face, or the eyes, or something, a gesture he would have done. So always look for that. Or the energetically, he might even speak about his prior past life, which is a little strange, but right. if you believe in reincarnation, it really is a thing. So now I'm going to get on a touchy situation about this Elijah boy, because to me he's young. He's not old. He would be I would say teenager years maybe, or younger. To me he's got a younger feel.
He was younger, but not.
But to me he feels young. He's super flamboyant. He's like snapping his fingers. And you know what's even funny is he referenced something to me, all the single ladies. So I don't know what that refers to, but If you do, please just say yes.
I don't know.
I just don't know if his preference was a certain way. I don't like to say it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Okay. I didn't want to be rude in.
It is though.
It is okay. Okay. And he speaks about if I'm gonna say it, maybe that's what it is. I think his name is Rashad, because I got Ra and then I got Rashad. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure who Trevor would be, but he also came through in this reading for me. Do you know a Trevor? Not everybody matches up with it. That's why I wrote it down.
Oh yeah, no.
It could be for the next person. I always get prior information for the next person, which sucks because I write it down, but then that person's like, "Who's that?" You know. It can be really, you know, confusing sometimes. For him, I have a strange feel. I'm going to call him younger boy, excuse me, or Elijah. I felt he was sick with something, but it wasn't a typical cold because he shows me like a spot of like, I would assume like a bee bite or a sting bite or a spider bite or something. Does that make sense to you both? Okay. And if you could see, I wrote it all down. And he's this happy energy. He doesn't have pain. He doesn't have this will to be dissatisfied or unhappy. Yeah, yes. I have the cold chills right now. He speaks of, did he ever play a sport like football or basketball or... Because he showed me a ball of some sort. Does that make sense? I think it would have
been football or...
He showed me... Well, it can just be a symbol for a sport type feel.
Right.
Would that be your brother?
Who?
Elijah?
He's my nephew.
So... He's saying uncle. What is he talking about?
My brother is his uncle. I mean, I don't know which uncle.
So because I don't know what he's referring to. That's why I'm assuming that's what he is referring to because of the baby.
Nope, that would be his cousin.
That's weird. Okay. So there is no kids that would make him an uncle in any way. Okay, so I'm wondering what he's referring to by that. Unless... eventually he's going to be an uncle. That could be a thing, but that doesn't mean that's anytime soon.
Right.
He speaks of this boy Rashad a lot. He said it several times in this. He also spoke about being sick, which makes sense because you just validated. Now, what was he actually bitten by? A bee or...
Tick.
Okay, because tick. So that made it... What, he just beat you to the punch. So did he have a high fever? He's speaking of a fever, or maybe he's just going back to that sickness.
I don't know the whole, so I mean, he might have, because he was sick for a little bit.
Okay. He said there were signs. Did you notice the signs of him being sick in that way? Did you think it would have been from that? Because he's referring back to signs of it. Did you have like an idea of what it could have been?
Like that event, yeah.
Of that's what, like, prior to, I mean. No?
No.
Can you speak of the signs? No, you noticed something quickly in him. Does that make any sense to you?
I wasn't really like around him a lot because he didn't live.
That's okay. But when he came into your presence, did you notice it quickly?
No.
Because he's talking about you noticed something quickly. It'll pop up even if it doesn't. It always does.
Yeah.
So if something pops up to you that you recall, just send it to me and we'll talk about it. Oh, there it is right there. I didn't want to say it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. And that's the uncle. There's a bite. Now the father energy, I wanted to get back to because he was discussing something with me yesterday in the sense of, he was talking about a girl named Tina.
My sister.
Okay. Now he's also talking about a picture of 3 women. He says they'll never change. They'll never change. I mean, not in a sarcastic way. I think that was his way of, that's the one thing you're going to realize and it's going to make you smile and laugh about it. He says they're too strong-willed. They'll never change. They're too strong-willed. I said, okay, I'll definitely have to tell him that. We don't know who Trevor is right now.
No.
That could be a friend maybe you guys don't know about, or that's the part here. I'm trying to... He spoke of his physical strengths as well. He was a very strong-willed person, he was physically strong too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why that's why in the part of patting the chest, yes, he was sick with something, but I also felt that even though he was sick with something, he fought every single day. He didn't try to give in easily, I feel. He was a very strong-willed man. But he was also the rock too. To me, he would have been like a strong male energy in everybody's life. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, yes, he's your dad, but there are people that people flock to for that. Like, you have your dad, but probably neighborhood kids flock to him.
Oh, you have no idea.
Just for advice, for help, for protection even, I feel like. So that was one of the things that I thought really stood out about him specifically. He was very protecting in energy. He spoke about a boat. Was he a fisher? Was he like to fish? Okay. Because he was like, I don't know if he had luck catching them, but he was like, I tried and I caught, but then there was days I didn't do much. So I'm like, okay, well, just keep going. Because
Right.
I like to make jokes. Over there is no pain, there's no regrets, there's no sorrows, there's only forgiveness and moving on. And I know that your dad has passed on for a fact, because when I saw him this morning, he's waving to me from the light itself. So I knew he would come through today and just keep coming through. But the Elijah boy came to me this morning as well. And for me, he was very, don't forget about me. I'm right here with him. They're together in that sense. So he wanted to make sure I got my point across too for you. And the emotional validating experience that you both were going to have today, I don't think it was going to come to an easy ending for you. There's supposed to be more I'm supposed to say to you. He speaks about brothers. Is there a Dre, or what does he refer to? He's speaking about Elijah. He's speaking about, I don't know if he means like what you call each other on the street or actual brothers. He's speaking about, well, who's Rashad, first of all?
I have a brother, Rashad.
Her brother.
Were they close? Did they hang out?
They
Or?
know each other. He's younger than me.
There's a Rasheen. I don't know. It's
That's
my
other
son.
brother.
Oh, maybe, okay. If it's the syllable that's different, I just write a different word. And do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if I say Rashid, or sometimes I'll just put a Ray, or for example, I'll put, if I hear Bill, it could be Phil.
Right,
So,
right, yeah.
Sometimes they can get points across, like Elijah. He kept saying like Shah, and then he would give me Ja. So I'm like, okay, and then he gave me the letter E. So I'm like, he's telling me what his name, but he's like,
And Shah is part of his last name.
oh, okay. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that makes sense. And baby is referenced here all over the place. He's talking about Papa and baby. So I'm assuming that he's already, that I'm going to be the Papa, I'm the baby. So this is where he combines the two again. He's putting you and the baby and him together in that sense. So I would definitely be on the lookout for little things your dad would do, because he keeps bringing that up. That's important to him because this is his way back into the family. So as weird as that sounds, probably, does it make you uncomfortable that I say that? I have to be careful sometimes, because sometimes I just go in too deeply. He's talking about Tina again, but he's talking about hands. He spoke about hands last night a lot. Does that make sense to you at all? I'm not too sure what he's referencing. He showed me this. He showed me this. It could just symbolize you guys were very close with him.
Very.
It could be when he was going through his passing, you guys were like very close with him, holding on to him tightly. You know, everything that you guys went through with him, he remembers everything, because that's what he talks about. I remember, but you can't blame yourself, and you can't think of what could you have done to make it easier or changed, because we
talked about that a lot, and we
what if we yeah, it's his fate. That's how it is. It's fated to us in that way. It could be you could live the healthiest life, and you see it all the time. Mm-hmm. People could live the healthiest way. They don't smoke, they don't drink, but they still end up with something like cancer. They still end up dying in a car accident, because God fates us that way, because they did their job here on earth, and he needs that person for something else, even if they left in a horrible way or a manner. Now he's, for some reason, wants to live through that sense with you. So I don't know if that's a sign of what's coming for you in your life, but he needs to be a strong, stable person for you in your life. So that could be the reason why he's coming back through your child, because there might be something, and that's not to worry you. I just mean, it could be something within the family he needs to bring back in the family. You know what I mean? The rock is gone, but if he comes back, things will get reunited and fixed. And that sounds so strange and weird, but I've never met a bunch of people that reciprocate like the Lukinas. I've been so dumbfounded, and I couldn't believe, just sitting at their house, I'm like, oh my God, the energy is so strong.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God. I mean, people are passing away and coming back into the family, and I can feel that. And that's what I feel with her, which is strange, because I haven't gotten that outside of the kind of family like that.
Right.
But with her, it's different. I felt that before I even came here last night. I felt that last night, which was very odd. And he actually showed me a picture of him with his hands on her stomach, which I thought was amazing. It's like a picture of when a man puts his hand on a woman's stomach to feel, or he's like basically showing me the love for the child. Mm-hmm. So I want to get more into detail of, yes, he spoke of it being too soon that he left, but he also knew that he was ready. So that was the point I wanted to get through to you about that. This is what I haven't come across yet with you. What does the gun symbol mean to you? Did someone get murdered? A friend? Maybe one of the kids' friends? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. That, for some reason, someone tried to step through last night, but I didn't want that to interrupt what I was getting through your father and the boy, Elijah. Which I thought, okay, she will know what that means if it does have any validation for her. I'm assuming he means this because he's talking about mom now.
My dad?
Yes. He almost shows me a picture of them holding hands together. Now, were they together in life when he passed? Or were they separated at the time? Because he talks about a connection with her.
His mom passed when he was younger.
Well, did he have a wife? Mm-hmm. Your mom?
My mom.
Okay, so they were together before. Okay, so that's what I'm getting at. He's talking about her. So, being that they're together in that sense, he's talking about message, so I'm wondering if he wants me to get her a message. Do you want to ask him any questions? Don't do the yes and no. Don't do the yes and no answers, honey, because I don't do the whole. Sometimes, because I want you to know there's no time for them. 20 years here can be 5 minutes there. I have never heard there's a hell. I've never heard that there's time there. We are subject to change here. So I don't like the whole, in the future, you're gonna do this, and I don't like that.
Right.
I feel like that's possible, because I've done that, but I also don't like to give that out too much, because I feel like we're always subject to change, even me.
Yeah.
So I don't like to give that absence of the future in that matter. Her is different, because he just kept showing me the baby, and I knew he was a boy. So because he told me that's a boy, that's going to be me. I'm like, okay, well, I'll talk to them about it. But I think that your mom, I'm assuming he means his wife, because I don't know if she remarried, or,
No.
if that was your stepmom, or
Oh, no.
he talks about a message for her. It's almost like he's showing me a picture of himself, and she talks to him a lot. As if, what should I do? I wish you were here. He says she's like, almost like calls him over all the time, but in life, things fix themselves and work themselves out, as hard as they might be. So his character is very, I'm going to say loyal. To me, he feels like a loyal guy. He tries to help people work through things. But even now, he's telling her that. I mean, I feel like, was his passing really hard and still hard on her?
We don't
She
know.
doesn't
She
show
knows
it, but
She's
I'm
tough.
sure,
She's
yeah.
tough. She's tough. I feel like maybe you guys should sit down and talk with her, and just tell her, like, try not to bury it, because it did happen. But he's over there. He's happy. He's not hurt. He's not sick. There's no regrets. There's no pain. There's no nothing. And he wants, I think, pretty sure that's what he's telling me. He wants her to know that things are going to work out on their own. No matter where you guys are in your life, look back to this day and know that he's telling me he's basically watching over you, because he's showing me wings. So more or less telling me he's your guardian angels. Is anybody going to be moving at all? Because I hear the word pack, or going on a trip, or... Huh?
My mom's moving.
Oh, okay, because he's talking about packing. If she's going to be packing, he's talking about the pictures. Does she still have a lot of his things?
Not really. She's got pictures.
Pictures, okay, because he's showing me pictures, but I don't know if he's showing me, does she have a pair of his old shoes or something like that? He's telling me if there's things that she's holding on to just get rid of them. The pictures you keep, because those are your memories.
Right.
But if there's anything holding her back, I mean, she doesn't sound like she shows it to anybody.
And she don't.
And I'm sure when the doors are closed and she's all alone.
That's what we don't, right.
You don't see... what he shows me is she does cry. I mean, I'm sure they were together for a while, a long time.
Over 50 years.
Yeah. And when you lose part of your soul like that, half of your heart is gone. So that is really hard, and no one can say that they don't cry. But he shows me in that general sense that she speaks with him and asks him his advice and calls him over, or some type of help of some sort, if that makes sense. I don't think you've ever heard her say it, but I feel like deep down in, she probably does that. You know what I mean? I would like you to ask her, like, even if it's not around anybody, so she doesn't feel embarrassed or anything like that. Tina does keep popping up. So I'm not sure what he's trying to tell me about Tina. The word glass. sometimes I can pick up physical impressions, psychic impressions about you, where you live too. So if something was broke or somebody broke in, I'll get things of that nature. So if something doesn't come across that makes sense, just kind of ignore that. Is someone graduating anytime soon? No, because I mean, I hear glass, so I just want to make sure I didn't hear
Right.
class, just in case. So I wanted to ask that question. Now, do you have a picture of your dad or anything of your dad's? Because if you do, I can draw in things from his personal items as well. Oh, okay, yeah. This guy right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
There he is. That's him. But I see him, almost, gray here a little bit. I don't see him with, almost like salt and pepper just a little bit. So here he's younger to me. Very handsome guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give me a message for Tina? If I talk in a third party, I'm actually talking to them. It's just that's the way I communicate with them. Or if I'm quiet, I'm doing it as well. Do you want to have a message for Tina or Carmen? There's the picture of the boat. Would you like to give your children a message at all? Now either he's saying angel, he's your angel, or you have a
My brother.
Brother. Oh wait, brother.
Angel's my brother, yeah.
Brother. So maybe that's what he was. Okay. What would you like the message to be? Could you give me something? How can I assist you in the message for Angel? Okay, so you are right. He said son. He's speaking about keys. Now, that could mean either keys to a vehicle or keys to opening new doors for him. Is there a new job? Is there a new car? Or is he speaking about keys of some sort? Does that make sense at all? Maybe if you get in contact with him, or maybe you can ask him, does he have a new job coming, or just anything that would refer to that. But I'll see what else I can get. When you say keys, do you have any other example of what you're trying to tell me? You're showing me keys, which could be a symbol of opening doors or keys to a car. Could you refer back to that and tell me what you mean about that a little bit? I'm not sure how to take this. Don't get in the car. So that could be that's some kind of a message that I don't like to. I usually get things like that. Sometimes that's a warning. Sometimes that's a kind of like I'm looking out for you. Don't drink and drive. He's saying don't get in the car. Does that make sense? Does he drink, or has he ever drank and drive, or?
I don't believe
No,
he's done that,
okay.
but I mean, he drinks, sometime on the weekends, and he's,
Yeah, I mean, but who doesn't? So,
Right.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. I just want to make sure I'm trying to understand from here. Do you have a message for Carmen or Tina or your wife? Show me what? Because I got this last night too. He's talking about showing me something, but I don't know what he's trying to tell me. He wants you to show me something. Does that make sense to you? Do you have something of his that you're supposed to show me? No? So,
Not
okay,
that I
you told me
know.
this last night, you told me this just now. What is she supposed to show me? I'm confused. He's talking about a bill. Do you have a bill?
A bill?
Like, maybe something that would have been in his name and you guys held on to, or he talked about this last night too, so this obviously means something. Maybe there was something that was left in his name in a way, or, what can you explain what you mean by that? Because you said that last night too. Did he have a watch that he left behind?
Did he have a watch? I'm sure he had a watch, yeah.
Speaking of a watch and his wrist. Okay.
Yeah, because he had a black watch. Remember the black one he always wore?
Are you referring to time or are you referring to the watch? What was his favorite show? Do you know what he's
I don't know.
to?
I know he
'Cause
always
I
watched.
do not want to be clueless on this because he's talking about time. He's talking about show. I'm assuming he means favorite TV show.
I didn't know he liked to watch the news, and I don't believe he had like a favorite movie or show. But he definitely
so
loved his news.
The girls are confused, so I need a little. How about you just tell me what it is exactly that you want to tell me? Sometimes I think questions get bombarded too many. Sometimes people get overwhelmed with being bombarded with questions. How about you just say what you feel and let me know what you feel and what you want to say to whoever that you want to say it to. Well, are you talking about? Are you talking about your mother or your daughter's mother, your wife? I just need to understand where we're going with that. He's showing me a paper, so he's got to be talking about. I'm kind of on the fence of what you're trying to say. Sometimes it can be a little rough to understand. How about you show me instead of tell me? Because sometimes when you show me, it can be a lot better than telling me. Do you guys, he's shown me like a group of you guys together. Do you guys, are you guys any estranged from each other at all? Or like your siblings or anything like that? No?
No.
I'm trying to understand what he's trying to show me. He shows me a picture of, well, it looks like you in there, but to me it would be a group picture wall, okay? It would be on, he's telling me wall.
How many people are in the picture? Is it?
I would say like 6. Like 5 or 6.
Is there? Because there's.
Right there. That's Tina and her.
That's her family, my
kids.
sister.
I don't see anybody dressed in a tie, but it would. He talks about the walls, okay?
No
You
pictures.
gotta have at least on.
He must be talking. Well, I took all my pictures out. I never put them back up. I have thousands of pictures.
Oh.
I used my whole house is loaded with pictures, but I didn't.
Okay.
That's why you see nails everywhere.
Are you talking about one of those photos, or are you talking about one up here?
Somebody with a tie?
No. These they have text.
Oh, she's saying you
But
didn't.
It's not like that kind of a picture. Because I can see it in black and white.
Is he in the
that has
picture?
color To it. But it doesn't. What I see like a jacket and someone standing. To me, this is a guy standing here. I would assume it's like a family picture.
There's a picture of my dad and all four of his
Maybe
kids.
that's what he's referring to. He's showing me. You're sitting here. There's a guy here standing. I don't know if he has dark hair because to me I see it in black and white. To me, he would have dark hair.
And my dad's in the picture?
To me, he's in the picture, but he's like in the middle.
Yeah, that's the picture. It's
Is
my
that what
dad.
he's talking
I'm
about?
here. My older brother. Yep, my sister.
Okay,
Yep.
so he's talking about times have changed, but everything's the same.
Hang on. Where's my phone?
Sometimes it's the little things that they remember. That's why I think I was confused on what he was trying to show me. He's talking about times have changed, but things have stayed the same in that sense. That's why I was like, are you guys estranged? But then just when showing me, I feel like is better if he shows me.
Right.
Because sometimes speaking about it can be rough if they get too tired, energetically wise. If they don't have something to hang on to energetically wise, they can grow tired. So that's why they use your electronics and the lights and stuff like that. Do your lights flicker or anything else in here?
No.
Just in general question, because sometimes they need to use things like that to communicate. So that's why, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I move around, because energetically, if you move around, you're creating energy. If there's no electricity on or anything, they can't really use anything to communicate. So that's a good thing.
Right.
So if you ever notice, if you ever really want to communicate, you can just leave an electronic on, or you'll get that sense of. Do you ever smell him around you? Do you ever, all the time? No? Okay. So if you use your electronics and you talk to them, you might get a scent. You might get a light flicker. You might get, so when my grandmother comes to me, I smell specifically lilacs. That's always how I know she's around me.
Right.
So if you ever smell that, like a tobacco smell or anything like that, that's how I know my father comes around me. He smoked tobacco.
Right.
So if you ever get that, was he a smoker?
He when we were younger. But
Not, and not in that recent time where he passed.
No. Find that picture.
Oh, you have it. You can show me. That's good then. I can tell you if you have it, if that's the one.
Do you see him?
Okay. What about the arm in this picture? Is this the boy that was bit by the tick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So looking at this picture, to me, I would automatically go to, I don't know why I feel like it's a bee sting, but it's not. It's a tick. But he also repeated tick. But did he ever get stung by a bee? I think that's also what I'm picking up too.
I mean, he might have, but
I mean,
I'm not.
he wasn't allergic to a bee or anything like
I
that.
don't think no.
And this would be, okay. So, does he have, this is your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like to have a little white here, like a salt and pepper look right here. Is that
Yeah,
what I'm
he does.
looking at? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they were, okay. Oh goodness, I went out of it somehow. So if you don't mind, I'll walk around a little bit and see what else I pick up, because usually within that hour, I usually will get more. I feel like I want to just, I don't know, I want to get pulled back to this over here. I want to just, these pictures are, they hold a lot of energy. You might not think so, but pictures hold really good forms of energy that you can draw from. Now, is this him here? This muscle guy here?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense why he spoke of,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't figure out. I just want to take this phone and follow. That way I can see if something comes up closer. maybe put it in a general sense. Put it right here, maybe. Just, in a way. Oh, I don't want to be. These are your pictures. I'll just put this guy right here, maybe. Just against. Next time I'll bring my camcorder because it's awful to use your phone sometimes. Did he ever get, he's talking about, wanting to apologize about something. Did he ever get into a big argument of some sort with one of your siblings, like one of the males? Because I feel like he's talking about he's gotten into an argument.
Probably with my brother who still is home.
Okay, because he's talking like he wants to apologize because things like that can hang on energetically wise, and over there's nothing but forgiveness.
He would have to be talking. If anything, it'd have to be my brother.
Okay. So apologizing in that sense, who would you like to apologize? Because you're showing me, I believe, one of your sons. Do you have two brothers? Okay, because he's showing me two. So I'm wondering if he's talking about he wants to apologize to both of them. What is he talking about he needs to apologize for? Is there something that, when you're saying apologizing, are you talking about to both of them or just one of them? Was he tough on them in a way to make them, I don't want to say, no, I don't mean abusive or anything like that. I'm not understanding what he means. Can you refer to me what you mean by that? The boy that we were talking about, Elijah, he's kind of like pushing him out of the way in a funny way, talking about he wants to come in and say something. So, okay, what would you like to say, honey? How do I reference that? How do you want me to say that? He's being serious, but at the same time he's joking in a sense. Did your other son find it hard that he was almost in that sense? Did he find it? Did he have a hard time dealing with it? Okay, because
Very hard.
Okay, because he's talking about how, just let him know that was just me. He's showing me in that sense, like I love him, he's my brother, but he's just got to accept me for me. Even now, does he have a hard time talking about it in that sense? If someone was to ask him about it?
I don't think my brother talks about it, or I think that he took him a long time to get over it, but he did.
Okay.
I don't know if it's something he likes to talk about,
Right. I mean, I just assume that he's talking about he had a hard time accepting and understanding and dealing with it, that he would have had, been different in that sense. He's talking about it was challenging for him. He's talking about sneakers. Does his brother have his sneakers or kept his sneakers?
My nephew don't have a brother.
Huh?
My nephew don't have a brother.
We're talking about Elijah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is he talking about sneakers?
I don't know.
is he talking about, I don't know if he's talking about sports sneakers or I call them, I'm like old fashioned. I'm sorry. I'm so plainly old fashioned. I could do paper and pen all day. Computers confuse me. But I'm talking about like basketball sneakers or something like that. He's talking about his sneakers. Hang on. What does he mean by odd? Did he ever play at the odd or was he ever at the odd?
That would have to be
You guys
years
would have
ago,
can you find that out?
Yeah.
You could, if you want to make a call, you can, or you could wait, or because he's talking about the odd. Which one are you talking about, honey? Because you have to kind of tell me a name because I'm confused on who you're referencing. He's talking about somebody by the name of Sheen, unless he means Rasheen or Sheen. Who calls him that? Does anybody call him that? Rasheen or Sheen, like a nickname? Okay, he's talking about tell him that he needs to stay out of trouble. He's yeah. I don't know if I could say this. I don't think. Does that mean? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh my.
Okay.
Hello.
He's talking about he needs to listen.
Listen,
Okay.
I'm doing a reading right now. And Elijah keeps coming through. He keeps talking about a pair of sneakers, so find out from him at all.
Yeah, can anybody find out about what that means?
In a pair of sneakers, but she can't get it done. Oh, I'm home. Yes.
Fix.
He wants Angel to know that, like, you know, Angel didn't accept him for 11. That's pretty funny. Mm-hmm.
He's talking about
You said he needed to talk? Mm-hmm. He is talking.
Would you like to give me more about that situation and let me know so I can
Find
tell?
out if they know anything about a pair of sneakers or the odd, or
So I can tell your aunt?
special pair of shoes, or he just keeps talking about sneakers.
Ball, talk about ball. He must have. I don't know if that's like let's go ball, let's go play ball, or basketball, or.
Did he play sports ever?
He's talking about the other boy again. Also, fix, mend. He's he's talking about his demeanor. He's an angry person sometimes. He sees more anger than he does happiness, I guess. Is it more of
And he keeps bringing up the odd.
Is your son involved in? I don't want to say
Something
it.
like that.
Oh, okay. I just didn't want to say it loudly because I don't want to interrupt your call. Is he involved in group of people in that manner? Well, he's saying that he needs to be careful. He's talking about his anger is going to get the best of him, and it's basically going to get him in big trouble. He's talking about this symbol that he needs to watch out. He keeps talking about watch out. He's talking about how I don't know if he hasn't gotten over something in anger, because he's speaking about this. He needs to heal, mend. He's talking about he's broken and he needs to fix himself in here. But he's saying that he needs to more or less stop what he's doing because this is going to get him in big trouble. Whether does that mean he's going to do something bad in that sense, or is something bad going to come in that sense? But he's genuinely worried about him in that sense. He's just letting me know to let you know. So if if he wants to take that as a warning or heed it as a warning, I would listen, because he's talking about this in general aspect of it. He's talking about that symbol over and over again, and a group of individuals in that sense. He's showing me also him running and falling from something, like he was on foot, but he did okay. He was trying to get away from something and he fell, and this boy Elijah actually was at that moment with him. So that's his oh, I just got the cold chills. That was his get up, let's go. You can't, we have to keep going. So he's lucky at that moment, whatever that was, because he was with him. He shows me him falling on the ground and then getting up and looking back, whatever that means. He says, tell mom, warning. Elijah, would you like to tell him anything that he might listen or accept your message from you to heed to your warning in that sense? I'm trying not to be too personal with this. He's talking about a backpack and whatever's in that backpack. I would call it this, or to me, I see something longer. Maybe I don't know if it's a baseball bat, a hockey stick. It would be something that he wears on his back, but it's in the book bag. Yeah, but it's what's in the backpack he's talking about.
Right.
He's talking about these group of kids he's with. I'm kind of confused with what he said, because this is going back to Maria. He's talking about Maria's house.
They all hang there.
I mean, I've been there. I know who's there, but I don't remember seeing him there or anybody he's with in that sense.
My dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been there when you did readings.
Yeah. Oh.
Because he said you said some stuff into it.
Oh,
So
him!
true. Tall, light skin.
Oh, him. Okay. I think. Oh my God. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. But the people that are there at Maria's, I don't think those are the people he's talking about, though. I don't think it's that group of kids. I'm talking about Kara, Nate, any of those guys. He's talking about somebody else.
Yeah, a bunch of their friends hang there.
Oh, okay.
Him and Nate all hang with the same crew.
Okay. Do you want me to give any of them do you want me to give your aunt a message on what we can do and try to keep him from doing anything in that matter? Can you show me that a little bit clearer, honey? Because you're showing me something, but show me bikes. Stay off. Sometimes they don't speak full sentences. You have to break up what they say. So, he's saying, speaking of bikes, stay off. What was the last thing? If you can't say it, sweetie, it's okay. You could show it to me. I think he's saying stay off the wrong side of the tracks. I think that's what he's talking about tracks, like train tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's telling me to not go on there with the bikes or stay off the wrong side of the tracks. What does that mean? Like, are you talking about a specific area of problems that could arise, or are you talking about, let me talk, because I know you're a younger age, but to me you're smarter as well.
Mm.
So to me he's a younger age, but I wouldn't consider him young. You know what I mean? I would imagine he's like a teenager age to me. That's how he feels to me.
Right.
Where's that group again? Okay. How about any of the people that he hangs out with? Can you give me a name or someone that he should stay away from in that sense? Or just... I think I've said this name already, honey. Just want to make sure before I write it down and say it. Is it Ja? Who's Ja? Did I say that correctly? Okay.
But he passed away.
No, they call.
You don't have to say any names, but if that just makes sense.
Oh, the one who had a baby.
If that makes sense to you, that's
The one
okay
who
then.
had a baby.
Oh yeah, it could be. A couple of them, yeah.
Because he's talking about just don't do that, don't do that. So I'm assuming that he means that's the person he's talking about, or I mean, is that a person he hangs around with frequently? Okay. Okay. Well, I'm sure she's gonna let him know that, whether he listens or not. That's something he's gonna have to do on his part. Do you want me to give any more messages other than this here? I'm supposed to tell you that. You're supposed to tell me this part, or do you have something else to tell me? Do you have anything else to say to this situation, or do you have something else to say about a different thing? It's telling me pause. Like, pause, hold on a second. He's giving me that. I'm like, okay, hold on a second, hold on. So, is it to his situation, or is it something new or different? Has he, he's talking about being drawn back in. Has he, started hanging out with a group of people that he was before but stopped for a bit? I'm not sure what he means by drawing back in.
Well, it's pretty much been the same.
She says that hasn't changed. Are you trying to tell me something different? And I'm just saying it wrong? Do you know somebody by the name of Meek?
You say meek?
Meek, or something with an M?
Oh, Malik.
Oh, maybe. I hear Meek, so sometimes that's something like a
Right.
nickname or some sort, so. I saw this Strange Lit Maria's before. I seen somebody running in like white sneakers from something, strangely. So I'm assuming that means he's symbolizing possibly running away from the trouble that they had gotten into, or... Now, who are we talking about? Are we talking about which person? So I can get it correctly. I'm assuming it's the person you're talking about. So I'm more or less being told he needs to stay away from whoever these people are, I guess. I mean, I don't know the names you do. I'm just giving, because I can't say a word that he didn't say.
Yeah.
I have to say exactly what he tells me, even if it, you know, we have to figure out what he's talking about in that sense. I have to say it raw. I can't, you know, make up something that wasn't there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So whoever that person is he going to listen? I don't know. Do you want to say anything else, or do you want anything else said in that matter, or do you want to step back and let, I'm going to call him Papa because that's what he said to me, Papa. Okay. Says back in the day I would have handled it. This is not him. This is not Elijah anymore. This is, I'm assuming this is your dad. Do you want to give your daughter anything else before we close this out? Do you want to talk about any more messages to give before we go? He's talking about carrying on things you did with him, or what he wants to be done. Do the little ones ever go fishing? He's talking about taking them fishing. Like, I want them to go fishing.
They were all supposed to go before he
Oh,
passed. Like my younger two and their dad, they always talked about all going together.
well, that's what he's talking about. That might not be a big thing over here, but over there, that's like a thing he liked to do. He wants you to carry on that. And it's weird that you were just talking about that, and he's talking about reciprocating back through you in that sense. So it's a strange setup in that
I
way.
was just saying it to Raheem, like, oh, I go fishing.
I mean, I don't think that's a coincidence. So I mean,
Right.
unless you usually go fishing. Do you usually go fishing? That's a coincidental thing. No, it's not. So it's the little things like that he's trying to get his point across. Don't take the little things for granted. Fishing is a big thing you could teach your kids to carry on with. You have your cell phones, you have your iPads, but who takes their kids out anymore and does things like fishing or swimming or the park? Or this is where the kids are nowadays. And back then he would have been like, get you outside and go play and do this and do that. Am I correct? Yeah, it's a big, that's something that he would like you to just take part in, because that can be a great experience too. See, we have to be talking about, because now he's referring back to class again. What does he mean by that? Does someone did not finish school or you? Okay.
My son,
Okay. Maybe that's what he's referring to. Maybe he needs to go back to school and finish his, whether,
I tell him all the time. We talk about it.
because
Well,
he's
I'm in
talking about
college
class.
right now.
She's
Class.
in college.
Okay, but I mean, this is almost like, you need to make sure you graduate type feel. That's why I brought it back up.
Maybe
I mean, it could very well be for her too, but sometimes it has multiple meanings. So when I see a number, it usually has multiple meanings too. It could be a
Right.
birthday, anniversary, passing day. It could be the time that the person passed. It could be anything. What does the number 9 mean? Nobody has a birthday by the number with the number 9.
His birthday, that's October 9th.
Whose birthday?
My dad.
Oh, okay. Because he's like 9. Tell them 9. I'm like, all right.
We didn't forget that. We celebrate.
No, I think that's his way of like what I just said. Just tell them 9, then number 9. Okay, they got you. They know what you mean because they celebrate you every year. Did he toast? Because he's talking about toast. Like a sip, like take a toast. That make you guys toast him? Well, obviously not you, honey. No, I just mean he's showing me like a little glass and toast. That's what he's saying. Toast up, toast up.
Probably talking about me. You know I'm a drinker.
Well, he hasn't said anything negative, anything. He hasn't said anything that would cause me to worry in any way.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know what you mean, honey, but I'll say it. Talk about the word proud, but I think he's joking because I'm proud of you this much. Like he's making a funny because that's what he's doing.
He was a corker.
Yeah, he's like, I'm proud of you this much. Because I told him before I get here, you know, I want you to say one thing that's gonna make her laugh before I go. And he was just like, I'm proud of you this much. He showed me.
Grandpa would say too.
You know what he's doing? He's flexing his muscle too. Like, I'm like, what does that mean? So I'm assuming he's joking with me because I get that right. He's, all right, I'll say it. But you got, I'm still puzzled on the woman though. So I gotta figure out who she is. If she does have anything to say regarding to you guys, I will, you know, in that sense, message you if you want.
Yeah.
I don't get the whole, unless the jewelry part is something that was passed down from a maternal side. Is that what that could refer to? I'm not too sure what that means.
Like when you said the jewelry, I just thought of like she got the dad's wedding ring.
Now, did he buy that or was that passed down to him?
That was
Well, I'm saying,
I
you know, some people
you got
pass
me,
down
I
their,
don't know. That was
some people pass down their
50 years
wedding
ago,
ring,
right.
so that could be something like an heirloom that he wore, you know, passed down in that sense.
I don't think he passed. It was just
Okay.
in the drawer as we were cleaning out after he
Because
passed.
this woman speaks of jewelry passed down. So I don't know if maybe she was telling me that was passed down to her. I don't know, but that would refer back to maternal side.
Right.
Like I would assume great grandmother, or because usually when I hear mother, grandmother, or great grandmother, it could be a maternal line of that side. It could be an aunt, it could be a grandmother, a mother. Just somebody that was in your life that loved you like that. It doesn't have to be a bio. It could even be someone that's not related to you, that would have looked at you in that sense, loved you in that sense, raised you in that sense. So, if I get more, I'll send it to you. But I'm gonna look over this video as well because I want to know if I'm gonna hear anything in this video. 9 out of 10, I usually do. So there's always I don't think I've had a video with nothing not in it. So.
Right.
I'm just gonna end this video here.